We are live now.
How do I get the live link, sir?
I'll send it to the chat box.
Uh, can you hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, please, I can hear you. We are live already.
Oh, well, sorry. Am I supposed to start now? Jeez. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. I'm just going to wait a bit to get to 100 people. So when we get to 100 people, we can start. But until then, I can answer a few questions. So I'm currently looking at the live what we have here on the live. I'm currently looking at that, and yeah, you can ask a few questions before we get into it. Yeah, so you can ask a few questions before we get into it. So if you have any question for me, let's hear it. Also share the link with the classmates so they can join us so we can get started. For today, our focus is going to be on what's it called? On reviewing the mini project, I believe. So I think that involves the style guide, the the landing page, the dashboard. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be reviewing today. So it's going to be fun, trust me. It's going to be a fun session and you don't want to miss it. Yeah, hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hello, good evening, mentors. Sun is greeting us. Yes, please open the mini project task. I think you should ask, what's it called? You should ask coordinator. I think he has the ultimate power. Ferdinand Alexander, you said product design is really fascinating. Of course it is. Very, very fascinating, I'm telling you. It's an interesting subject. Ogala Isioma, I think you should talk to coordinator about that. Coordinator Udwak, yeah, about helping us reopen what we have. Yeah, so that's what I think. Mhm. Let me see. We have 75 people. Uh, let's just give ourselves grace of 3 minutes. So by 7:10, by I said 7:10, Jesus was wrong with me. By 5:10, we should get into it properly. By 5:10, we should get into it properly. Dun, 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 dun. So this is, you have 2 more minutes. It's one people. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, Nancy, way to go. Petition to reopen the task. Yeah, way to go. And we also have let's see. Mhm. Okay, so I'm getting a few questions. Let's see. We have 1 more minute before we get started. 1 more minute. Do you always do user story when you're designing? How do you come up with your landing page? Because I had issue thinking of what to do. Wow, that's an interesting question. Um, do you always do user story in all your projects? So I'm going to be having these questions down so I can pick them up later. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good to go. 5:10, we're good to go. Welcome everybody. Good evening. My name is Chris Adolphus, and this is your weekly drop-in with Chris and Kingsley. Kingsley is unable to make it today, so I'll be the one anchoring the session today. So the aim of our conversation today is to help us go over what we've done in terms of the style guide of that we've worked on, the landing page, the style guide, the landing page, the what else did we do? The contact us page, the pricing page. Uh, yeah. So just to give more context into what I'll be doing today, I understand that this is completely for beginners, so I'm not going to be going deep into the UI or UX of what we have of what we've done, during the week over the week. So what I'm going to be focusing on particularly is the content of the style guides, how this style guide is expanded, translated into the landing page. It was, integrated into the landing page, into the contact us page, the pricing page, the dashboard that we've built. And yeah, I think earlier I requested a few people to send me their project if they want us to be reviewing their project. So I want us to do a quick task right now. So what I want us to do is I want us to go to the product design channel. When we get into the product design channel, you see my comment. My name is Chris. You see my comment where I said, a channel for our drop-in today, we'll be having, design reviews. If you want your design to be reviewed, share the link under this thread. I'll pick randomly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us 3 minutes. So in this 3 minutes, I want us to go into the comments. I want us to look at the replies that we have, and I want us to check the ones you want us to review. So the ones that have the highest number of check marks in the next 3 minutes. What's the time now? Yeah, in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to start with those ones. So if you look at a project and you want us to review a particular project, just check it, just put a check mark to it, and I'm going to be checking the comments. The comments with the most check marks are going to be reviewed. The comments, the links with the most check marks are going to be reviewed. Yeah. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so the project with the most check marks are going to be reviewed. So go into it and check the ones you want me to review, and then I'll start with those ones, please. Let's do that. We have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes to do this. Yeah, the comment is in the product design channel. If you just scroll up a bit, you'll see my comments. If you just scroll up a bit, you'll see my comments. Just check mark the ones you want me to start with, and I'll start with those ones. Please don't check mark your own alone. Check mark what you think is interesting. I'm looking at them. We have 67 in total. I'm seeing just one more check mark on about, I think I've seen for 2. Yeah, let's do this. We have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes to get this done, and then we'll start reviewing. Trust me, it's going to be a fun session. We have so much to learn, even me. Yeah, I'm still scrolling through them. I'm still checking. How many minutes more do we have? We have 1 more minute. We have 1 more minute, guys, please. Let's do this. We have 1 more minute. Please. Let's do this. We have 1 more minute. I've seen one that has. Oh, nice. 3, 2, 4. I've seen one that has 4. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. Yep. Done. So the time is 5:15 on the dot. So we have we have Miriam Odu. We have Miriam. Oh yeah, we have Miriam. We have Miriam. Okay, chill. We also have Ify. We have Miriam. We have Ify. Let's see. Miriam, Ify. Whoa, we have Ade. We're starting with Ade, definitely. So I have my top 3 for now. And we're going to be starting with Ade. Yeah, I feel like this is a very, very fair election. I feel like a politician right now. I feel like I can conduct election properly. It's going to go well. Okay, done. Yep. So starting with okay. Okay, let's do. Yeah, we're starting with Ade. Thank you. Yeah, got it. Okay, let's do this. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen. I think that's what should be doing. Let me know if you can see my screen, please. Let me know if you can see my screen. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Don't worry, I'm not going to be tampering with your project. So I'm going to be doing is first I'm going to be doing is I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate this to my drafts. So I'm going to work with the copy. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're all locked. So unlock everything. Yeah. This looks interesting. So I'm going to start with the style guide. So I'm going to start from the style guide. First thing I want to do is I want to just change the background to this. I don't know, I'm addicted to this particular color. And then I want to take out this, the grids that we have here so I can see properly. Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay. Design style guide. Oh, okay. Okay, just a quick one is grouping or making your project into a frame. So I think you should always so I'm just going to call this cover. That's just me. That's nothing serious. Yeah, the first thing I want to check is your spacing system. Okay, so you included your spacing system. So style guide, just to like give us a like an overview. Style guide is just for visual consistency. It helps us achieve visual consistency with our designs. The essence of the style guide is to help us translate the brand voice, the brand tone across different products, across different projects of the same company or the same clients. So that's why we have a style guide. So it's going to guide our visual tone, our visual language, and how we translate ideas into an actual interface that users can interact with. So when it comes to style guide, we have different components that makes up style guide. We have the buttons, we have the input fields, we have the typography, we have the color system, we have we have icons, we have so many things that makes up this particular um style guide. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at every individual element, and then I'm going to pick these elements and check at this project to see if she properly, translated this her style guide into into her project. Yeah. So the first thing I'm starting with is please people should stop sending input. I think we'll pick that up there. Okay, so the first thing I want to check is I want to okay. So I don't know what this is. Okay, for my guess. Okay, so my guess is My guess is my guess is my guess. I know that for what I can see here, that your spacing system is a multiple of it. So you're making use of 8-point grid system. So increment of it, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. As I can see that, this is, multiple of it spacing system. This is good. Yeah, I can see your grid. Okay, so this is your grid. This is 100. Okay, this is 100. This is 100. This is 100. So I think the first thing here is I don't think your grid properly speaks to your spacing system. Yeah, from what I can see here. So I don't think your grid aligns with your spacing system. Reason being that if we're going to be sticking with multiples of 8, it has to be consistent across your design. So what you should be doing is, as opposed to having this as 100, you should be having this as, let's add one more. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to make this one. Just want to have a margin of, what margin should we have? Again, she help me. What should we have? I'm thinking, should it be 80? Let's make it 80. So this is 80, yeah. So this is 80. So as opposed to having 100, it should be consistent. You get the gist. It should be consistent with your spacing system, which is already a multiple of it. And also what you have here, I can see 21. I don't think 21 is is proper, because it's supposed to be 24 or 16 if we're sticking with your spacing system. So the reason for the spacing system is just to help us, properly align things for better, hierarchy. That's why we have the spacing system, to guide what we want to do. So having a spacing system of 8 pixels and having it, go up incrementally, and then coming down here to have 21, I think that's not, that's not solid on our end. So this should not be 21. Rather, this should be 24, I think. So I think this should be 24. Yeah, I think this should be 24. Okay, so if this is 24, I think we're getting there. So I think for the grid, your grid can be 100, in terms of margin, left and right margin. It has to be consistent with your style guide, which means that it can't be 100. It has to be an increment of 8. I mean, if that makes sense. So that's like the first thing. So if you notice me, I'm trying not to get into the boxes, because the boxes should be multiples of 8 also. So if you are making use of an 8-point grid system, let's see. Okay, this is 8, this is 12. 12. So let's see. So if I'm checking your grid system, one thing I'm checking is I'm checking the column and I'm checking the gutter. So this is your column. So I'm checking your column. So your column is 40 and your gutter is what? Your gutter is 24. So this works. 40 and 24. Okay, that's for the height. Sorry, the width does not work. This is 105. It can't be 105. It has to be a multiple of it. It has to be a multiple of 8. So yeah, that's one. It has to be a multiple of 8. So it's like, it gives us like this visual consistency and balance with your spacing system. But for the gutter, the gutter is good. It has to be 24. So that works for us perfectly. So moving on. So this is your tablets. So the same issues here. You are not making use of a grid system of 5 pixels. So you're making use of a grid system of 8 pixels, which means that every spacing, every margin, every padding has to be, consistent, has to be an increment of it. So I'm going to do something first. So when you're looking at designs, when you're looking at, spacing, for your design. When you've achieved your, I think I'm dwelling too much on this. When you have achieved your spacing system, say I want to make use of spacing system of 8-point grid system. I want to make use of 8-point grid system. It means that every of my design, my padding, my margin has to be consistent and has to increment by 8. It has to go up by 8 consistently. So if I have 2 elements, the spacing between those 2 elements has to be a multiple of 8. The spacing between, the padding between elements has to be a multiple of 8. That's how you have to always calculate it. So this should stick to the back of our minds when we're designing. When we have a spacing system, it has to be consistent. So when you look at it, you have to be obsessed with that consistency and always calculating to achieve such consistency. Moving on. So I think I've established that in terms of the spacing. So this is good. This is 24, 20. This is multiple of it. Okay, that's the flies. 8. Yeah, 8. This goes 32 works, 32 works, 32 works, 24 works, 6 has to be 8. Has to be 8. Has to be consistent. You can't have 8, then we have 6. 6 is not a multiple of it. So if that makes sense. Yeah, thank you. See, that's that about spacing system. I'm going to check something. Okay, it's not there. Okay, so the next one we're checking here is the color. As I see, we have 3 colors, but I don't know which one is the primary color. I don't know which one is the secondary color. I don't know which one is the neutral colors. I don't know the colors for our text. So when it comes to color system, I think what we need to have always, you need to have your number 1, you need to have your primary color. Number 2, you need to have your secondary color. Number 3, you need to have your neutral colors. And number 4, you need to have your text colors. These are like the compulsory ones. And then you can start having your, alert colors for alerts. You can start having, other colors that you want to have within your style guide. But the ones that are very, very vital, the primary, the secondary, the neutral, and the text colors. These are, quite compulsory. And here I can see 3 different colors, and I don't know which one is the primary color. I don't know which one is the secondary color, and I don't know which one is, the neutral color, because they were not properly labeled. So I think we should try as much as possible to label these things. So back to typography. So again, 52 is it? Let me think. I was going to press calculator. Sorry, probably. Just to go to school, didn't. I'm just joking. So when it comes to your fonts, so I can see you have 48 and then you have 52. Yeah. And then you have the spacing is what's it called? The letter height is the line height is set to auto, and I'm seeing 63 here. So I think it shouldn't be 63. It should be, what's it called? It should be a multiple of 8. Now, the spacing system, I'm still going back to the spacing system because it's the foundation of your style guide. It's the foundation of what you're doing, which means that spacing system has to be the foundation, the bedrock of everything else you are doing. Your typography has to fall into your spacing system. It means that if you're making use of a spacing system of 4-point grid system, 8-point grid system, your line height cannot be 63. Has to be 64 or 56 or 48 or 40 or 32 or 24 or multiples of 8. So that's what I have to say here. So this goes 40 and 48 works perfectly. I need to rush this. 32 can't go with 39 because 39 is not a multiple of 8. So yeah, I think we'll have to fix that. So I'm just going to move on from there. But I think we have and something else is when it comes to your style guide, I think we should create styles. I don't know if we've been taught how to create styles. So I'm not going to dive into that. But yeah, you have your paragraph here, so this is good. So moving on. So okay, now buttons are properly labeled. Let's see. Your button is this is 39. Still the same thing. We can't have a button height of 39 and a button width of 131. Understand that you're making use of what's it called? Auto layout. So it stretches and the likes, but the height has to be consistent in the sense that the height cannot be 39 because 39 is not a multiple of it. I don't know if that makes sense. 39 is not a multiple of it. 39 is not a multiple of it. So I'm seeing a comment from Blossom. So I'm just going to go back to this spacing system. Now, spacing system is the foundation of whatever you're doing. Your spacing system is the foundation of whatever you're doing. It's supposed to guide every other element in your design. Your icons is guided by your spacing system. Your typography is guided by your spacing system. Your grid is guided by your spacing system. Your buttons are guided by your spacing system. Your padding, your margin, they are all guided by your spacing system. So if your spacing system is 8-point grid system, if you're making use of an 8-point grid system, so what 8-point grid system just means is that your spacing should be multiples of 8. It means that wherever you are doing, any space you want to give between elements or any shape you want to create, it has to be a multiple of 8. If you're creating a button, your button height must be a multiple of 8. Your line height for your typography must be a multiple of 8. Your grid system, your gutter, your boxes, they must be multiples of 8. When you have this consistency in your design, it creates this visual balance when looking at your design. That's when you start to achieve clean design because everything is properly spaced, properly aligned, and the spacing is consistent. So that's why I'm dwelling on the spacing system because it's the foundation of everything else that you should be doing. I'm not focused on what's it called? I'm not focused on your UI or whatever. I'm just focusing on, how to translate what you have in your style guide into, your project. So like I pointed out here for the buttons, so your buttons can't be 39 pixels when it comes to height. They can't be 39 pixels because 39 pixels is not a multiple of 8. Yeah, and I like the fact that you have different, variants for your buttons. Yeah, makes sense. Different variant for your button. The icons, without icons, you have your default state, your hover state, your press state, your disabled state. Yeah, makes sense. I think you need to have one more, which is like the skeleton state. So skeleton is just when the page is loading or when network is not good. So what shows up? You can't have your default at that point. So you have to have a skeleton button. So skeleton button just looks something like this. I'm just going to draw. Why am I typing, Chris? I'm just going to draw a box. So yeah, this can be your, what's it called? This can be your skeleton button. Just give us a shape there with a neutral color, gray color, whatever. Just give us something there that is your skeleton. That's just what is left to be added to this, like for now. Yeah, if that makes sense. So just going to just drop this here like this. And boom. Hope you guys are feeling me. Best designer in the world. After I added this thing without his, no stress. Just did it like it was nothing. Thank you. Yeah, so that's the spacing system. And that's the button. Yeah, coming back to your icons. Same thing like I said earlier. Same thing I was stated earlier is about your icons falling in line with your spacing system. Yeah, which means that your icon cannot be 36.14. Yeah, I feel like your line height cannot be the height and the width of your icons cannot be 36.14. It has to be consistent with your spacing system still. So it has to be 36 or 40 or 24, but you can't have this 0.14. It kills, it kills the consistency in your design. When you add this to your design, it kills the consistency in your design. I don't know if that is making sense. So that's like the correction that you have here. And I like the fact that you have field icons and you have line icons. Yeah, makes so much sense. Superstar doings. Yeah, I can see your alerts. So you have, I don't mean alerts like money alerts. People are not looking at me. I've been seeing David alert since. I don't know how people get paid. You all should come and pay me money. Okay, so yeah, so you have your alerts. I'm going to just dig into it a bit. 10, you can't have 10. 10 is not a multiple of it, so you can't have 10. 14, 14, you can't have 14, 14, 10 because 14, 14, 10, they are not multiples of it. Just going to check. So this is 24. 14, 14, 10, same thing. You can't have this because they are not multiples of it. So it has to be multiples of it to be consistent. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, input fields. So back to input fields. So I'm just going to look into this. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back. So yeah, I've been quite ill for some time. Yeah, quite ill for some time. So I'm just recovering. Yep. Sorry about the whole cough and the legs. Yeah, thank you for asking me to drink water. Yeah, I'm going to be coming back to Tijani's comments. Seller's comments, Tijani's comments. I'm going to be coming back to that. Yeah, we're back to our input fields, yeah. So like I said, still the same issue here. I'm not going to be digging into your UI or whatever. Still the same issue, yeah, which is your spacing, yeah, your spacing, That's like what I'm still driving at. So I can see here that you have 36.34. You can't have 36.34. It's not going to work properly. It's not going to work properly when you integrate this into your design. Yeah, you can't have this point because it's not consistent with your 8-point grid system. And then your text is 14. I can excuse 14. It's for your text. It's still not 8-point grid system. If we even want to break it down, it's not 4-point grid system. Yeah. And then you have a height of what's it called 11.17 and 11.17. You get, so it can't be 11.17, 11.17. Now, if I want to take a wild guess, my guess is that when you did this, you scaled it. I'm going to show what I mean. So I'm going to duplicate this guy. This was what I thought. This is what I think you did actually. I think you had your design. Yeah, I think you had this design. I'm going to, stop this from brain. I'm going to detach this. I think you had this your design, this guy, and then you pressed key and you scaled it. This is what I think you did. This is what I think you did actually. if I want to be fair. This is my wild guess. My wild guess is that you actually scaled this. That's how you're able to get that. Whether you're able to get this point. Without scaling it, you can't get a point. So when you are creating these things, you don't have to scale them. Yeah, you don't have to scale them. It has to be created from ground up, from scratch. You don't have to scale them. Someone is saying I should kindly zoom in. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in. So you have your default state, you have your focus state, you have the active states, entered, disabled, valid, invalid. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to be concentrating on your UI or whatever. I'm just looking at what you did and how you translate what you have into the main thing. So likewise, same thing I'm going to say. I think you actually got this design and then you scaled it. That's what I think you do. I think that's what I think you did. I think you actually just got this design and then you scaled it. Because looking at your variants, it's not giving me the vibe of I created this from scratch. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not giving me the vibe of I created this from scratch because I can see different things here. So it's not giving me that vibe of okay, this was created from scratch. So I'm going to pick this guy. So this guy is 24. Makes sense. Cool. Chill. And this is not consistent. So you see, you have 11.17, 21.17. It has to be consistent. It has to be consistent. Always has to be consistent. That's what should be at the back of our minds. So I think what I want to achieve today, if that's all I'm going to be able to achieve today, is that whenever you see a design, I want us to be so obsessed with the spacing. Now, people say want to be able to achieve musical, want to be able to achieve clean design, nice interface design. I think once you're able to nail down spacing, you have started achieving clean design. So from today, I want us to be so obsessed with spacing. When you look at a design, be obsessed with, is the spacing consistent? Is the spacing not consistent? Is this, is this that? So yeah, so same thing, you don't have your skeleton. So I think that's like something that's just missing. So the skeleton is just when you have terrible network, when you have either terrible network or when you have what's it called? Or when you're loading screens. Like you've been on Facebook most times. When you're on Facebook, it's like there's this like screen that just flashes. When you're trying to load an MP feed, the network is terrible, like it just flashes before it stabilizes. So that's like what you want to have, what you want to show. I think I'm done with this. Now I'm going to go into your mini project. Yep. So going into your mini project, I want to look at what you have. Okay. Okay, so I think something else I think is what is going to be difficult for me here is the fact that your styles weren't properly named. So for instance, this is what I meant. So if I pick your color, I'm going to pick this guy. I'm going to cut this guy here. I'm going to same thing I want to do here. If I this is just me, my bias. Don't worry, don't do it. I place this guy here. So I want to be able to see. Yeah. I'm going to make this guy. I'm going to make this guy 100. I just want to get the color, yeah? Yeah, this is the guy. This is our guy. So this is our guy, I guess. I believe so. Yeah, this is our guy. So when you're creating your style guide, I wanted to excuse this before, but it's going to be a bit of a blocker for me, is the fact that you have to name your styles. So you have to name it. So you have to name this color. So let's see. What color is this? What name should we give this guy? Let's just call this guy a day one. So I'm going to pick this guy. So probably don't know how to do it before, but if you want to, have your style. So you have to like create your style. So to create your style, you pick your color, you click on this guy, you create your style. So I'm going to call this looks like a secondary color. Secondary, let's call this guy secondary what color is that? I'm just going to call it brown 100. Yeah. So I'm calling this guy secondary brown 100. So how to use a style? When you create it, you come here and you click on it. We've created it already, so it's just there. So I think it's going to be a blocker for me to review your designs against your style because they weren't properly named. So I can't, it's going to be difficult for me to pick this and understand that, oh, this is the color in your style, or this is not the color in your style. So I just showed you guys how to create styles. So if you want to create a style, just pick it, name it, and then that's it. And if you want to use a style, I've just showed you also how to use a style. In case you've not seen how to do that. Okay. Yeah. So moving on. I think this looks okay. I think there's something I can check. Yeah, come on. 169, 12, 14, 16. Yeah, so you see the issue. The spacing is already inconsistent. So the spacing from this guy to this guy is 14. The spacing from this guy to this guy is 16. So it's like it's not balanced. It does not flow into your style guide. I don't know if that makes sense. So if I start reviewing this, I'll be like, okay, this does not align properly with your style guide. So we have to like properly fix that. Okay, so does this fit into your style guide? I'm not sure. This is 53. So this is 53, does not fit into your style guide. I think I have to check something. Ha ha ha, I caught you. I caught you. I caught you. I caught you. There's a cut. There's a cut. I caught you. I caught you. Your buttons are inconsistent with your style guide. Your buttons are inconsistent with your style guide. So this is your button. You have a border radius of 4 pixels. Yeah. And then in your project, you have this button, 8 pixels, which is wrong already. And then you have this guy, 27 pixels, wrong already. So it does not align with your style guide. So it does not translate properly. So like I said earlier, your style guide is supposed to guide what you do. Your style guide is supposed to, is like supposed to give your brand a particular voice, a particular tone. Get the gist. And yep, it does not, it's not properly done here. So I think that's one of the things that I should be looking at. So 42 is also, no. So you see what I'm saying? So 42 and 27 don't really go well, yeah? It has to be consistent. The spacing has to be consistent. The spacing has to be consistent. The spacing has to be consistent. And then this one here also, I don't know where the text is. I don't know where you aligned your text to. You get the gist. I don't know where you aligned your text to. I don't know what is missing here. Is it loading? I don't know. I don't know. But it's left aligned. I don't know why it's left aligned. And then this guy is not at the center still. So this guy is not at the center. So you see 483, 387. So it has to be, you have to align your design to something. So either it's center aligned, left aligned, or right aligned. Yeah. So if this wants to be center aligned, it should be fully center aligned. Center aligned with your chest. And this can't be just aligned like this. And this can't be like this, just like this. You get the gist. So you have to like properly align it to something. Just put it here like this. Then take it to the center. You get the gist. Yeah, so that's what I think. Okay. And yeah, this guy is this align. So this guy is 90, this guy is 33, and this guy is 100. So you see, again, we have to be conscious of all these alignments. I think we have to be conscious of this alignment of this spacing. If this is all we take away from this conversation today, I want us to be very, very super conscious of these things. You can't have 33, then have this at 90, then have this at 100. You get the gist? So if I open your grid, you see what I'm saying. This aligns to something. This is not aligned to anything. This is not aligned to anything. So you have to align it to something. You have to always align your stuff to something. So this is also not aligned to anything. So it's not aligned to anything. It's not aligned to anything. It's not aligned to anything. You get the gist. And then this one is just on its own. You get like, it's just like when Rashford is playing left wing. We don't even explain if he's center back or right wing. He's just running around the field. So I'm a Man U fan, but that had to be said. Okay. So I think that's it. I'm just going to look at this guy here. I cannot select it. So your bottom still, you can't have your style guide can't be 8 pixels, and then this is 27 pixels when it comes to border radius. You have to be consistent with it. Your landing page, same thing. This is 33. This is 33. This is 100. This is 64. So I don't know what they are aligned to. So that's what I'm going to say. So this I don't know. This don't look aligned. These don't look aligned. So do you want to align them? Like I said again, always align your stuff. Always align your stuff. Always align your stuff. Like either you are having them center aligned or left aligned or right aligned, but they can't be in a land of their own. It can't be they have to be consistent. You get something else I've not checked, which I'm going to check it now, is your style guide against your typography. So this is 52. I'm going to take this 52 as your H1. I'm going to take this 48 as your H2. I'm going to take this 40 as your H3. I'm going to take this as your H2. This is your H1. And this guy here, I'm just going to call him level 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Yeah. So this is it. So I'm going to take this guy here, 52 pixels, as your H1. If I bring this 52 pixels and I come here, you see, this 96 is not on your style guide. It's not on your style guide. I don't know where you brought it from. Maybe you went to bring Cavani inside Manchester United team. I don't know. I like Cavani. Please, let's we're mature. I'm not going to mention Cavani again. Don't worry. So 52 is not in your 52 is in your style guide, but your H1 here tells me something else, which is 96. Yeah. This guy here is also 96. This guy here is 20. I'm going to go back to your style guide to look for 20. This is 16. This is 24. This is 32. This is 20 for your text. 20 for your text. Okay, that works. This is 32, H1. This is 24. Do you have 24 for your paragraph? 16. You don't have 24 for your paragraph. And you're not supposed to have 13. We're talking about multiples of 8, yeah? We're talking about multiples of 8. So you don't need to have 13. We can't have 13 when we're talking about multiples of 8. It has to be multiples of it to achieve visual balance and visual consistency. Yeah. So that's all I'll be reviewing for this. And we just have 4 minutes. I think 1 hour is due. And we have just 4 minutes. Okay, so I don't think we'll be able to, do other project. I think we'll just be focusing on this one. Yeah, just a quick recap. Yeah, a quick recap for us is the foundation of your design is your spacing and your grid. So, okay, just we have, the core foundation is your spacing. Now your spacing is what's it called? You can make use of 4 points, 8 points, 5 points, 10 points grid systems. You get the gist. Like you can make use of this. But one thing you always have at the back of your mind is that these particular spacing systems, when you want to space items or when you want to create a shape or anything, you should be obsessed with maintaining these particular spacing systems. Yeah, you should be obsessed with maintaining them, which means that if you're making use of an 8-point grid system, your buttons must respond to 8-point grid system. Your paragraph, your line height, everything should be aligned to maintaining this consistency, because only then can you achieve visual balance. No, there are some designs you look at and you can't place it, but you know that something is not properly aligned. So we don't want to have that when it comes to our design. I want to be able to understand that, okay, when I look at this, it is aligned. It is properly aligned. You get this? You want to train your eye to be able to spot when things are not, properly aligned. You get the gist? So that's it about your spacing system. Your spacing system guides everything else. And your style guide is not just for fun or for aesthetics. Yeah. Your style guide is there to guide you when you start creating your high fidelity designs. Your style guide guides you, it directs you. You can't just have like what we saw here now, you have 52 as the highest, the highest scale on your style guide. And then on your actual design, you're having 96. You get that's not to be done. When it's 52, it should be 52. When it is 40, it should be 40. When it is 30, 32, it should be 32. You don't have to, you don't need to, go outside your style guide. You are not supposed to go outside your style guide. You are not supposed to go outside your style guide. You're not supposed to go outside your style guide. This is what I'm saying. You're not supposed to go outside your style guide. You can't have a button with what's it called, with 4 pixels, border radius on your style guide, and then on your actual design you're having 27 border radius. Like, we can't do that. We can't do that. And then you can't have points 36.14. Can you point something? You don't need to have that on your design. When you're creating them, it has to be consistent. It has to follow your spacing. You get, is it going to be 4? Is it your 4 should be your 4, your 8, your 16, your 24, your 32, your 40, has to be consistent. Yeah, has to be consistent. Yeah, it has to flow with everything. And then something else is you need to name your what's it called? You need to name your styles. Yeah. Should I do that? You need to name your styles. Yeah, you need to name your styles. So, you need to name your styles. Like this now, we just have the color style I named, which is brown. That's just the color style we have, the one that I named, which is brown. So you have to try to name your styles. Name your styles, your typography, your colors. You have to name these things, your grids, you have to name them. I think we'll have another session when it comes to naming proper, conventional, naming systems to help you name your styles so that they can, so that you can scale them. when your style guide, when your style guide expands, becomes bigger, when you're working on design systems or whatever you're working on, we want to be able to learn how to scale these things properly. So yeah, I think another session is going to be done when it comes to naming things properly. Yeah, I think that would be all for our section today. Yeah, I remain your friendly neighborhood designer, Chris Adolphus. Thank you. See you same time next week. If you have any more questions, let's talk in our channel. Now we do it now. Let's go secret. Yeah, that'll be all from me, from Chris today. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, before I go, I caught a comment. So from Ezinwa Roslyn, Chris, we were taught to use 1.2, 1.5, 2, 3, 4, etc. as our scale for typography. Okay, I see. So I'm going to explain this to us, and I think probably we missed it. Maybe we missed it a bit. So this is it. So I'm going to pick this. I'm going to come here. So I'm going to why am I spelling my name with small letter? Chris, respect yourself. Put some respect on your name, brother. So this is 24. Yep. Now, this is 24, yeah? So what it means by 1.2, 1.4, 1.6 is this. So when I come to my line height, what I do is I press 24, I press asterisk, I press 1.5, it gives me 36. 36, my dear friends, is a multiple of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. 36 is a multiple of it because yeah, 4 times 9 is 36. I don't know if you understand. So just look at what I did. So it's still the same thing if I have 24 and I type 150 and I type 150%. It's the same thing. It's still 36. If you look at the line, if you look at the height, where you have your H, it's still 36. I don't know if that makes sense. So 1.2 is the same thing as 120%. 1.5 is the same thing as 150%. I don't know if that makes sense. 1.2 is same thing as 150%. 1.5 is same thing as what's it called? The same thing as 150%. So what your tutor meant is when you have, say if I have 16, so you see 24 is a multiple of 8. It's the same thing when I go, it's the same thing if I type in 1.5 times 16. Same thing, same outcome, 24. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's just what it meant. So, to get like, good line heights. I don't know if that makes sense. To get like, good line heights. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, so when you say because of Manchester, let's do this again. Now you want to bribe me. That's not going to work. I'm stronger than this. I'm bigger than this. It's not going to work on me. You can't use money to bribe me. And I'm addicted to Manchester United, but it's not going to work. I cover myself with blood. Okay, I think what we are going to do is we can have another conversation about style guide next week. Then we just merge it with creating, what's it called? Creating naming convention when it comes to design, naming things. Yeah, Semiha Olajimoke, you are right, 100% right. So it's 16 by 1.5. Yeah, multiply by 1.5, multiply by 1.2, multiply by 1.5, 1.2. You're good. Um. Yes, Gloria. Yes, Gloria. Yes, Gloria. When you pick your icons from anywhere you're getting them from, you have to ensure that you resize them according to your spacing system. So if you pick icons that have height and width of 30 pixels, and your spacing system is 8 points grid system, that means that does not work. It means that you have to resize them to fit into your 8 points grid system. So people are talking about class on Star Guide. You want to work on your mini project again. Another session. Medina, you went to resize me. I'm telling you now that your icons. No, we're not judging you. We're not judging you. We're not judging you. We're not judging you. We're not judging you based on. We're not judging all this for you. I'm just reviewing. This is like just a drop in with Chris, and this is me reviewing with you. So when we are grading, we don't look at all these things. But I'm just telling you for our personal good, yeah. So when we're working on these things, we have to note these things down so we can help ourselves. Uh, please, practical class. Yeah, practical. Auto layout, yeah, that's something. I thought we dealt with auto layout and variants last week. I think you can go back to the video to check them, and you get very, very good insights into them. So this is tempting. Practical, matching a style guide with the project. Okay, I saw you did. Okay, so I'm going to do something first. So I want us to vote. I'm going to say a channel all in favor. So I just posted. So if I get enough here, we're going to have a class. If I don't get enough here, we're not going to be having a class. Um, can you people chill? The hair is coming in too fast. The hair is coming in too fast. The hair is coming in too fast. Let us drink water. We're not fighting with us. I'm not fighting with us. Yeah. Well, I'm not fighting with us. I told you I'm a friendly neighborhood designer. Let us, all this thing we're doing here, necessary. All this thing we're doing here. The hair is coming in too fast. Please, I need 2 illustrations of a picture on my landing page. 2 illustrations. I'm checking your comments. So many here. You guys should make here while the sun shine. That's my line. You feel it? That's my line. Okay, so Junior 555. Question you noted down, Chris. Can you remind me? Can you remind me of the question, please? My phone is beeping, guys. If my battery died. Um, it came exactly. It came 100%. When you are making use of, if your design is 8-point grid system, it has to be consistent throughout your design. You have to be your padding, your margin, your line height, everything has to fall into this 8-point grid system, so you can achieve visual consistency, visual balance when you are designing. Yep. 62 haze. Or more. Okay. You guys are killing me. Victor, I should say your name. Oshie. Okay. I've answered the King's question. Yeah, the hair is choking me. Junior, okay, so I'm just going to, can I get to the top of this? Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, one question. How are you sure of what color to use for project? So this is what I'm going to do, yeah. How? So when it comes to color for project, I think we can also touch on that next week. Yeah, we'll touch on that next week. That's a question from Temilayo. Temilayo, yeah. So how are you sure of what color to use for a project? So we're going to touch on that next week. So join the class. We're going to touch on that next week. We're going to start from there. So yeah, Temilayo, another question from Temilayo. If I use different shades of one color, does that mean I used one color or the number of shades? So when it comes to color, so we have monochrome design. So it's just like a monochrome design, which means that you have one color and different shades of different shades and likes of the same color, shades hints of the same color. So it just means that that's a monochrome design, and we can still touch on that next week still, since we'll be talking on style guide and creating a design for it. So I'm just going to jot these two things down. So how to decide color for a project. How to decide color for a project. Types of color. Or I'm not going to call it types of color, I'm going to call it theory of color. So, well, next week is going to be interesting. Next week is going to be interesting. Yeah. Someone said my sense of humor is top notch. I'm telling you, I want to leave this end. I used to be a comedian. I don't know what happened to me. I need to go back to my dream. All this design thing is not helping anybody. Can't even buy Lamborghini yet. Imagine I'm basket mouth. One show, people just pay 1 million naira per table. Think I'll be on this call. I'll be somewhere chilling with some baddies. No, I'm just joking. Maybe I'm not joking. Maybe I'm joking, maybe I'm not joking. You can't tell. You can't tell. Okay. I think that would be all. Yeah, that would be all from me. I think I've gone 15 minutes into our time, so sorry for that. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, we'll see you same time next week, 5 p.m. Don't forget, we're going to be digging deep into style guide and yeah, just some stuff like that. All right. All right, thank you guys. Coordinator, yeah, thank you for having me.